Hello everyone. To solve the problem of sharing description files of media.paper, new features have been added to let people can connect to Google Drive by OAuth 2. Before explaining what kind of features have been added, let's briefly discuss what is the media.paper.
If we take the library collection as an example, you can borrow a book, but it is not yours. Therefore, you have no right to write on it. However, you can get a notebook, you can write your learnings and the page number on it.
This notebook is yours so that you can share it with anyone. The situation is similar to the description files of media.paper. At previous case, you were a reader, and now you are the assistant of a cartoonist. After the cartoonist draws the manuscript, his assistant will help to make his work more beautiful. But the assistant obviously cannot modify the manuscript directly. Therefore, they will use things such as dot papers to help make the picture more vivid. Speaking of which, you should understand why it is called media.paper, right? There are a bunch of audio and video files on the internet that do not belong to you, so you cannot edit them either. But, you might still want to repeat or speed up or slow down certain sections. Therefore, the app media.paper actually provides a description text file about the segments you want to listen to repeatedly, just as the paper notes are. Therefore, media.paper is to the media on the internet, just as notebooks are to the textbooks, and as dot papers are to the comic manuscripts. Although the resource does not belong to us, we have the right to take our own notes. Because of this, it is very lightweight, so you can change it as you like. Therefore, the first step in creating a profile for media.paper is to grab the hyperlink of a media you want to listen to or watch from the internet. After writing down the description file, if you want to share with others, or simply want to store it on the hard drive, the previous version will ask you to save it on the hard drive, usually in the folder Downloads. Then, you can use the USB cord to upload it to your mobile, and if you want to upload it to other people on the internet, you must upload to the internet. In principle, others can obtain data by downloading the file or the link to the file. In this way, the purpose of sharing our works is completed. And in this process, we did not download the media file, only its hyperlink, only the description file of media.paper created by you will be passed around, and it is just a text file, it is very small. Later, I'll show you a demo about the processes which has been described. First of all, fetch the hyperlink of a media. Then click the URL button, and paste it. Play it. Click the plus sign button to set a segment. Hold the button for a segment for a while can lead to the setting of its time period. Drag the buttons of backward and forward also can change the time period. See, it's playing repeatedly. Let's provide it a subtitle.
着用力睁大双眼，维持约8秒钟，反复进行2次。用力闭上双眼，维持约8秒钟，接着用力睁大双眼，维持约8秒钟，反复进行2次。
You can toggle to show or hide your customized subtitles or notes.
用力闭上双眼，维持约8秒钟，接着用力睁大双眼，维持约8秒钟，反复进行2次。
Tap the timeline to quickly jump to the point in time you want.
眼睛尽量往右看，举直，眼睛尽量往棒朝右举。
Add another new segment.
训练棒朝右举直，眼睛尽量往右看，将训练棒挥到身体的正前方，眼睛追随训练棒，稍作停顿后再挥到身体的左边。训练棒往上举，眼睛尽量往上看，将训练棒移到身体正前方，稍作停顿后再移到身体下方，反复进行2次。
Let it plays faster.
举直，眼睛尽量往右看，将训练棒挥到身体的正前方，眼睛追随训练棒，稍作停顿后再挥到身体的左边。训练棒往上举，眼睛尽量往上看，将训练棒移到身体正前方，稍作停顿后再移到身体下方，反复进行2次。训练棒朝右举直，眼睛尽量往右看，将训练棒挥到身体的正前方，眼睛追随训练棒，稍作停顿后再到身体的左边。 训练棒往上举，眼睛尽量往上看，将训练棒移到身体正前方。
Click these color dots can quickly switch among segments.
用力闭上双眼，维持约8秒钟，接着用力。训练棒朝右举直，眼睛尽量往右
Let it records my
看，
work.
将训练棒挥到身体的正前方。 眼睛追随训练棒，稍作停顿后，
This list is the results of my works. The previous version can of course work, but encountered a lot of troubles. Many video and audio files on the internet will not allow their hyperlinks to be directly connected to those multimedia, and many have their own viewers. What you get is the hyperlink of the viewer, which cannot be played on the HTML video component. OreGuard directly said that it is forbidden to cross origins. Therefore, some hyperlinks will be blocked. Then, when you want to save it to the hard disk, your device may set up some obstacles for you. These are for security reasons, but it will prevent files from being stored in a place where users can easily see, such as the Downloads folder. Usually, we upload the file to OneDrive, Google Drive or Dropbox, etc., all of which need to be logged in to access the files. Luckily, if you have logged in, if there are no other problems, you can upload. Then, when others want to obtain it, there are authorization issues and security issues. Worse, it may say that it does not recognize the format of the description file of media.paper, so it will do nothing further. Therefore, the previous edition tried to partially solve the above-mentioned problems, but as time evolves, the rules of the game on each road are changed again and again, and some solutions become invalid. So, in this version, I provide a way to go straight to Google Drive on the Internet, which is through Google API. After wiring the line, you will not be asked to log in to provide the necessary permissions when using this program. Because this app has not yet sent a request to Google Cloud Platform, currently this video is shot for this review. When you use this app, it will send a request to GCP to let it know the APIs this app wants to use, and it will unlock them for you. Then, when you access the parts that require your authorization after you give the permission, it will let the data flow. Therefore, this app can directly upload the description file of media.paper directly to your Google Drive. Remember, it is yours. In addition, I have provided two new types of files, zip and spreadsheet, so that you can directly change the description of media.paper on Google Spreadsheet. However, since the file is privately owned by you, you also need to share it with other people, and then other people can download it. This demo is about this new feature. Switch to the subpage of Export to. If you do not see your account icon, please log in again by clicking the Account button. Now you can export files to Google Drive. Oops, bug. If it functions correctly, it will export the file to the root directory on your Google Drive if you did not tell it where to export. Well, let me solve it by importing the settings from Google Drive to tell it which subdirectory is for this app's output. Now, it works. Let me export it as a zip file or a spreadsheet file, too. No doubt, you still can export it to your device. Now, turn our attention to my Google Drive. At the root directory, you'll see a file named yc.settings, and it tells this app to output its files to a subfolder /eek/mdpyc, which is changeable. These three are the files just exported. Now, let me get the link of one of these files to test whether I can share it by its link. Owing to I just export this work, it would be better to switch to another work for comparison. Or you might say, hey, nothing is changed. The link to the exported file. Success. Thanks for your watching.